What's up, you guys? It's your boy Astro coming at you guys with another YuGiOh Master Duel deck profile. Now, this one's a little bit different than others because we took to Twitter to find out which deck we were going to do today. And you guys can also follow me on Twitter at AstroUnchained. If you guys would like to be involved in future decisions on content being made, sometimes when I can't think of one, I will have you guys pick for me. And the deck that was chosen was Pendulem Magicians. Now, Pendulem Magicians are a really aggressive style combo deck that want to basically throw their whole hand on the field and tell your opponent no as many times as possible the next turn. I've added a little bit of extra spice, a little bit of extra sauce, if you will, in involving the Scythe Knock, which we will get into right now. But before that, I would like to let you guys know this deck is not easy to play. This is another deck that I played in the TCG a couple of years ago, back when it was a little bit more full power in the TCG. If you guys didn't know, Electromite and Astrograph had more recently been banned. So, yeah, no more fun. GG. But Electromite and Astrograph are both here in Master Duel, so it's time to make Konami regret giving us both these cards back. But this deck is hard, and if you're learning this deck, I want you guys to know, please take your time. When you go through your combos and your sequences and things like that, you're gonna mess up, and that's just a part of the game. And that's the hardest part about learning combo decks, is that sometimes you're gonna misplay, sometimes you're gonna go wrong, sometimes you're gonna summon the wrong monster, sometimes you're gonna add the wrong monster to hand. But that will all come through, and it'll all be worth it when you hit Platinum 1, because the Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk player literally cannot summon a Tri-Brigade or Lyrilusk extra deck monster. Let's move into the deck profile. Now, I do want you guys to know that the reason this deck profile took so long to come out is because I have been tuning and tweaking a lot of the ratios in here and different versions of the deck that I wanted to see, just to see what works, what doesn't. Like I said, this is a deck that is really flexible. You can put a lot of things in here. You can move a lot of things around. You can have a lot of different ratios, but this is what I found out was the best. More recently, this is what got me to Plat 1. This season, I was just sitting at Plat 5 after I got there with the Prank Kids deck, and then this deck took me all the way to Plat 1. So I've noticed that these videos are starting to get really long. Like the Prank Kids video is like 40 minutes. I'm gonna try my best to go through this a little bit faster, and we'll see how that goes. If you guys like that shorter video format, then we'll go with that. But let's start off with where we start off, the very beginning. So first off, we're going to go off with Tuning Magician. Tuning Magician is a pretty important piece. She is going to be summoned off of your Needle Fiber. Pretty much basic. Like, she doesn't really do very much. If you have two Pendulum cards in your if you have two Magician cards in your Pendulum zones, which like all your scales and Magician, she can special summon herself, which will lead you out for more Link plays or Synchro plays if you have a level 7 on the board. Pretty self-explanatory. Perform a PAL Pendulum Sorcerer is going to basically be another way for you to destroy your cards in the event that you can't get Electromite out to pop your cards for you. This will also destroy scales or other cards on the field to search out Perform a PAL monsters, which will be the only other Perform a PAL monster is the next one we're going to talk about right after this next monster. Wisdom Eye is a really dumb card in this deck. It destroys itself out of the scale if you have a Magician or Perform a PAL card in your other Pendulums going. You get to place one other Magician or Perform a PAL monster. No, it's just a Magician Pendulum monster from your deck in the Pendulum zone. This is an absolute setup card. It works beautifully with Star Pendulum Grab. It's dumb. I don't know why Konami made this card like this, because it's broken. It's a search card. It fuels the hand. It does everything. It's amazing. Combos, it's great. Perform a PAL Skullcrab Joker. This is going to be one of your normal summons in the deck. It's actually probably your best normal. No, it is your best normal summon in the deck, actually. Just searches out basically any Pendulum, any Perform a PAL or Magician Pendulum monster or Odd Eyes monster. You're really only going to, in this context, you're only going to use it to search out Magician monsters. Pretty much. This can be used to grab any pieces that you don't have, or any pieces that you think you might need for extra combo. Moving into the this card is broken. Harmonizing Magician is broken. When this card is Pendulum summoned out, she also special summons another Magician Pendulum monster to the board for free. That's it. The only thing is that its effect is negated and it's banished when it's removed from the field. But like, this card is literally a 1-card Needle Fiber. It is a 1-card. I mean, when we get Baron de Fleur in here, it's a 1-card Baron de Fleur. And like, if you guys want to look up Baron de Fleur, or if Boom wants to put Baron de Fleur on the screen, you guys can read what it does. Why? We're not complaining though. This card is an MVP. MVP, MVP. We chant that every time she hits the board. It's great. Okay? Double Iris Magician. All the Pendulum Magician monsters actually all have effects basically on their destruction. So what Double Iris Magician does is when it is popped, what it's going to do is it's going to search out one of your Pendulum Graph cards, both of which are extremely powerful. So being able to destroy this card during your turn to be able to grab either the spell or trap card is really good for turn 1 plays, really good to set up your board, really good for extending if you need to grab Star Pendulum Graph. It's just all around amazing card. Black Fang, we run this card at 3 because you need this card in your, you want to see this card. It's a really good high scale. It's got a good pendulum card effect, which you're not really going to use. It basically has the same effect as Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, where it can half a monster's attack, and then the card destroys itself, which is pretty cool. It could be helpful if you need to run over something. I haven't had to use it yet, kind of because if you guys see the replays, you'll see later. But its effect that we really like about it is that you can, when the card is destroyed, you get to summon a dark spellcaster monster out of the graveyard. Really good. Run it at 3. You really want to see this. Purple Poison Magician is we only run this card at 1 because it is good. Its effect is basically when you destroy it, it destroys another face-up card on the field. Really good for disruption in the event that you need to use it. As that, you can use it with Time Pendulum Graph to pop it and pop a card, and then Purple Poison will pop another face-up card. Really clean, really easy, but you really only need it at 1 because it is a low scale, and we have a better low scale that we would much rather see, which we'll talk about him later. Now, Supreme King Dragon Darkworm. We are running this card in here because it's basically a free extender. It's a free starter. If you can get it with Dragon, in combination with Dragon Intervene, it's a free special summon, and then it'll add a card to your hand, which will be a Supreme King Gate. We only run Supreme King Gate 0 in this deck, but you can run Infinity in here as well because Supreme King Gate 0 will search Infinity. But really, it's really just used as kind of like a starter. It's really good. If you can get it into the graveyard to start, you can pitch it for Pendulum Call. You can send it off Dragon Ravine. It's really good. It's just really simple extension. Performer Pal Celestial Magician. I like this card a lot. At first, when I was first building this deck, I didn't like it because I didn't think it did anything. But it actually also helps a lot with your follow-up. If you're going turn 1 and you can get this card on board, you activate its effect, and it'll search you a card it'll do something based on what else is on the board with you. So if you have a fusion monster, the card can interact directly. If you have a synchro monster, your opponent cannot activate monster effects at all. It's done. If it's an Exceed monster, the card's attack becomes double. And then if there's a Pendulum monster, you can add 1 Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. The Pendulum effect is the one that you're going to be using the most because your entire deck is literally Pendulum monsters. Besides Tuning Magician, you're cute, we love you, thank you for being as helpful as you are, but you're not a Pendulum monster. Anyway, that is what it is. It's basically a free search. It's cool. It's a level 4. It helps you go into plays with Time Star Magician. It helps make Guska if you need to. It's really good all around. Now, this card is broken. Mom, it's broken. Mom, it's broken. Basically, this card, Artifact Scythe, can be set in the spell or trap card zone. If it's destroyed during your opponent's turn, you get to special summon, and if the card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. Now, you sit there and you tell me what deck gets this card dropped on them and doesn't immediately scoop. I'll wait. Okay, that's enough waiting. Literally Eldritch. That's it. Maybe Drytron, but even then, Drytron still need to go into Mutated Fafnir and Beatrice, which are 2 Exceed monsters, which come out of the extra deck. So you kind of hold turn. This card, if it resolves against Tri-Brigade, you literally just win. If this card resolves against any type of Zodiac, you literally just win. If this card resolves against another Pendulum Magician deck, you probably just win. It's really dumb. It's generic. It's really easy to activate. It's searchable. It's a lot. It's really dumb. Okay. Now, next card, Oath Dragon Magician. This is the better low scale that I was talking about. Now, Oath Dragon Magician's Pendulum effect is there's a Magician Pendulum monster in the other Pendulum zone. You get to add a Pendulum monster, or a Magician Pendulum monster, or an Odd Eyes monster, I believe, from face up in your extra deck to your hand. This allows you to recycle your resources if you need to do something like grab back Double Iris, or if you want to grab Purple Poison Magician back, or if maybe you want to see if you can snatch Ashcraft Sorcerer in the event that you want to reuse this effect again. Whatever the case may be, this card can just refuel your resources. It's really good. Helps out a lot in the grind game. Now, moving on to the Sorcerer cards. These two cards are really strong. I am a big fan of both of them. A lot of people don't run Chronograph Sorcerer, but I have found a lot of situations where Chronograph Sorcerer is actually extremely helpful. Basically what he does is when a card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card and then special summon a monster out of your hand. His effect is a lot weaker than Astrograph Sorcerer's, I will admit, but it is still really useful in the event that you have cards in your hand that you can't get out. A lot of the time, this is used with Performapal Odd Eyes Dissolver, who is a level 8, and since your scales run typically between your scales are usually 1 scale and 8 scales, you can't Pendulum summon Odd Eyes Dissolver, so it usually helps you get him out. We don't use Odd Eyes Dissolver. I tend to go a different way to go into Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, which is another form of negation that we have, but we will talk about that later. Basically, Chronograph Sorcerer in this deck is going to be used purely for extension. If you use your normal summon and you have an extra monster in your hand, you grab Chronograph Sorcerer, you summon him out after you destroy something with Electromite, and then you use him to summon out another monster. Pretty much, that's the case. Astrograph Sorcerer, this is the big daddy, the big boss, the big dog. Look at him. Look at him. He is beautiful. Stars are shining. All that stuff. Anyway, Astrograph Sorcerer. When a card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you get to choose one monster that is in the graveyard or extra deck or that is banished this turn that got destroyed, and you get to add a card of the same name from deck to hand. So if you're playing and you go into, say, Electromite, right? Electromite pops Black Fang Magician. Black Fang Magician resurrects a card from the graveyard, whatever that card may be. What Astrograph will do is it'll special summon itself. You will then be able to add another Black Fang Magician from deck to hand, therefore refueling your resources. It's great. There's a lot. It's a combo sequence. We'll get there later though. Now, this is where we get to the Supreme King Zero package. Now, I run 2 Supreme King Gate Zero. You can run 1 Supreme King Gate Zero, 1 Supreme King Gate Infinity. You can run no Supreme King Gates at all. The reason I run Supreme King Gate is because of our extra deck package that I will talk to you guys about when we get down there. It's not a bad card to see since it is a level 7 monster. As you guys know, Astrograph Sorcerer is a level 7 monster. You guys know what 2 level 7s mean. Exceed plays. Woo! But that's basically all they're here for. They are also a 0 scale, which can be helpful in the event that you might want to Pendulum summon out Tuning Magician. But that's really it. You're never really going to put these cards in the scale. They're kind of just there, like I said, for the Exceed plays. I run them at 2. They're helpful. You can use them for Link plays as well, even if you do see them in your hand. So they're not as much of a brick as they used to be. But you definitely don't want to see multiples. That's why I only run it at 2. Dragon Shrine, literally its only purpose is as a starter card to get Supreme King Dragon Darkworm into the graveyard so it can special summon itself out of the graveyard so we can search one of these bad boys. That's literally the purpose of this card. You can literally, if you want to, you can drop out the Dragon Shrines, you can drop out Supreme King Dragon Darkworm, and you can drop out the Gate Zero. This is definitely an expendable package. I just like it because it helps a little bit with consistency. Seeing this first so you can get this in the graveyard so you can start popping off without blowing your normal summon and start baiting out things like Ash Boss and things like that is really good. I like it a lot. Now, Pendulem Call is a card that I see a lot of people run at 1. This is a really good card. I like seeing this at 3 because I want to see it in my opening hand. There's a really strong play that you guys can use when we get down to Time Pendulum Graph. We'll talk about its extra effect, but basically what you do is you discard a card, and then you get to add 2 Magician Pendulum monsters with 2 different names. And what this will do is this basically allows you to set up your hand. This deck is very monster heavy, so it's very rare that you're not going to have at least another Pendulum scale. This will help you search another one should you need it. It's just really good. The only downside is that you can't activate the card the turn you activate a Magician monster's Pendulum effect. So say you can't activate Double Iris' Magician's effect to target a Dark Spellcaster type monster and then have it apply double battle damage and it destroys itself. If the card destroys itself, or Black Fang Magician, or Purple Poison Magician, if any of them destroy themselves or whatever, or you use Oath magician to add, or was my magician to destroy itself to add a card or whatever, you can't use Pendulum Call. But the good thing about it is that your pendulums, the cards in your pendulum zones, cannot be destroyed until the end of the next turn, and we'll talk about why that comes into effect later. Duelist Alliance, if there's a pendulum card in the pendulum zone, which like I said, every card in here is a pendulum monster besides literally 3, so there's gonna be a card you can put in the pendulum zone. You can search any pendulum monster, or pendulum stone trap card. Being, you can search out Pendulum Call, Star Pendulum Graph, or Time Pendulum Graph, or Double Irish Magician, because it's always treated as a Pendulum Dragon card. This card can basically search out anything that you would need. Extremely helpful. Very, very, very good card. Now, Star Pendulum Graph. Basically, the point of this is it's an extender. You play this card, and your opponent cannot target spellcaster monsters who control spell cards or effects. I mean, I've never really seen that come into play, but maybe it has. And the reason I never see it come into play is because they can't target my stuff. But basically, the whole point of this is when a magician monster is removed from a magician monster on your side of the field is removed from the field, you get to add a magician pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. It's a search card. Really good. Helps with extensions. Helps with helping to form really big plays. That's basically it. Called by the Grave is just a card, you know, it's a staple. We don't run any hand traps in this deck, if you guys haven't told, like, I couldn't tell. I couldn't really find any space for them. Maybe you guys can. If you guys want to run the 50 or 60 card variants, because there's also those, you can definitely load up with hand traps. I just like being called by the Grave. It's not as much about stopping my opponent from doing stuff as making sure they can't stop me from doing stuff. That's the approach I took with the deck, and like basically, like I said, it's an aggressive deck. So I went full aggro, and we were definitely on go with this build. Moving into the last card in the main board, Time Pendulum Graph. So this basically is Star Pendulum Graph, but the opposite. Your opponent cannot target spellcaster monsters with trap cards. Really cool. So, you know, I can't even think of trap cards that target right now, but they can't do it. So if you can think of a trap card that can target, there you go. They can't target your spellcasters. Really sick. So once per turn, you can target a magician pendulum monster you control that's either in the pendulum zone or in the monster zone, and then pick another card on the other side of the field, on your opponent's side of the field. You can destroy both. Now, if a card is not destroyed by this effect, regardless of which one it is, you get to then send an additional card to the graveyard. Non-destruction, non-targeting. So what that means is if you use Pendulum Call and you have Oath Dragon in the scale, and you trigger Time Pendulum Graph to destroy Oath Dragon in the scale, and a monster on the other side of the field, the other monster will be destroyed, Oath Dragon will not. Since Oath Dragon wasn't destroyed, you then get to pick another card on the field and just non-targeting, scooch it to the graveyard. That's really good. That's why I like Pendulum Call. It's really strong, and if I do get Pendulum Call, I will try my hardest to summon out Double Irish Magician so I can pop it, so I can get to Time Pendulum Graph if I don't already have Time Pendulum Graph in my hand. It's good. This card is really good. This card is really good, but it is not good enough to run multiples up. Because if you see 2 of these or 2 of these, Brick City, we hate to see it. We do not want to see that. Bricks are bad. Bricks are bad, okay? Real bad bricks, okay? Okay. Moving into the extra deck, Ada's Vortex Dragon, Omni Negate. We have a Pendulum deck. A lot of cards end up facing the Pendulum Zone. It'll help you recycle your resources as well as stopping your opponent from making plays. As you guys notice, hey, Astro, there is no fusion card in here. How are you supposed to summon this, cuh? Where's Dissolver? There is another way, and I will teach you. But, basically, this card's whole purpose is it can spin a card back, and it can actually, upon summoning, you can spin a card back into the hand. And then, like I said, it's just an Omni Negate. 2500, 3000. He got the big booty, so you aren't swinging over him easy. It's a good card. Supreme King Starving Venom. The whole purpose of this card is to extend combos off of Electromite. As I also found out, really helpful if you can do something like copy a card like Access Code's effect to be able to pop cards. Supreme King Starving Venom, there's a reason this card is banned in the CCG. It's stupid. It's dumb. Once per turn effects, or once per turn effects, whether they be soft or whatever the case may be, or effects that can only be used once by the monster while it's on field, that this card says, nah, I got you. Let me use that real fast. So, and it allows you to use any monster. So even if you say your opponent summons access code and you out it, you can use Supreme King Starving Venom to target access code to activate his effect to destroy cards on the field by banishing link monsters you control. I'm sure this comes up a lot. This card can take a lot of effects. It's really nice. You know, you really just it's just clean. It's a clean card. Clean. So that's why we're running 2. It's a card that you can use. Now, a lot of people will do 2 Starving Venoms and then they'll go into Hope Harbinger. I have actually dropped that out. I just think that the way we run it with the Scythe Lock, there's not a lot of space in here, and I wanted to make sure that I had everything that I like for sure needed. If you still wanted to run the Titanic Galaxy, which is a spell trap card negation, going first, there is a way. There is also a way to use this card in combination with Instant Fusion and Lyrilusk. Whatever the Lyrilusk Fusion monster is, it's an FTK. So if you guys would like to see that, I can also craft up the Lyrilusk card. I basically have everything I need for it. I just need to get the Lyrilusk card because I don't like birds, man. They be scaring me. They're not real. You know what I'm saying? And they're bird ladies. You don't like those. Okay. TG Wonder Magician, basically here to assist in the Scythe Lock. Also special summonable during your opponent's turn off the Needle Fiber because it can banish itself to then synchro summon a synchro tuner on your opponent's turn. When this card is synchro summoned, you get to target a spell or trap card on the field, destroy that target. That target is 100% always going to be Scythe. That is it. You're going to go Scythe. You're going to have Dagda. Dagda's going to set Scythe. TG Wonder or Needle Fiber is going to summon Wonder Magician. Wonder Magician is going to destroy Scythe. Scythe's going to summon itself. And it's going to activate. And then you're going to tell them, nah, F your extra deck, and then you're going to win. That's how it works. We have Borreload Savage Dragon in because since we do have a level 4 tuner in Harmonizing Magician and Tuning Magician is a level 1 tuner and we run 3 level 7s, we can make level 8s pretty easy. Borreload Savage Dragon, if you are running a decent amount, even a decent amount of Blink monsters, Borreload Savage Dragon is one of the best, if not the best, generic level 8 synchro that you can run. If you can make this card and you don't have it in your deck, you're messing up. You're messing up and you're doing it wrong. Now, this spot right here, Ruddy Rose Dragon, we basically just have this because it's a generic level 10, and because Scythe can be negated, Scythe's effect can be negated, it activates on its summon, so it has to resolve. So in the effect that someone, say, wants to imperm you or effect veiler you, TG Wonder Magician's effect to synchro summon on your opponent's turn is a quick effect. So this synchro summoning with this going into a level 10 will allow you to dodge targeting negation effects like imperm, things like that, which will guarantee that your Scythe is going to resolve. Really nice, really busted. But you know, we don't talk about that. Now this card, Ruddy Rose Dragon, can be any generic level 10 synchro. For right now, I just think that Ruddy Rose Dragon is the best level 10 generic synchro in the game. If I remember, that is why I chose it. Let me see to make sure that I'm not tripping. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, this takes 2 tuner monsters. Despot Jet, you're literally not summoning this. Super Heavy Sand. Yeah, so basically, I mean, you could summon DDD Gust High King Alexander, but like, why would you do that? Oh, you could also summon White Armor Bahamut, or White Aura Bahamut, but like, oh wait, hold on, this might actually be good. Oh shoot, hold on, okay. This is another one. You can run White Aura Bahamut. Does it say anything? No, yeah. This is an option. You can run this. This. Please consider it. You can run this. I'll try it. I promise. But yes, so I didn't actually read this. I skipped right over it. But Ruddy Rose Dragon is the one that I chose. Basically, if it's summoned, you can banish all cards from the graveyards, which heavily impacts a lot of decks that are going to be meta in Master Duel. Decks like Eldritch, Tri-Brigade, Eldritch and Tri-Brigade. And Sky Strikers, if you banish all the spells out of their graveyard. Dinosaurs, banishing all their materials out of the graveyard, unless they have a Giant Rex and you just gave them a free special summon. But you're not going to do that because you're smarter than that, and nobody plays dinosaurs anyway because that deck is mad expensive. But yeah, so basically, and it's big. It's 3,200. It's strong, and it's there. And when your opponent activates a card effect that would destroy a card, you can. It has a negation, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Now the thing is that since you're not running Black Rose Dragon, if you use the negation, you cannot. This card's not coming back. It's supposed to special summon Black Rose Dragon. You don't have Black Rose Dragon, so try to avoid using this card to negate anything. But if you have to, you have to. Honestly, a lot of the time, if you get the Scythe Lock off, you're pretty good to just chill. And if they blow up your board, you should be accruing. You should have accrued enough resources again to be able to like kill them next turn, because they're not going to be able to do anything unless they're playing something like Eldritch. But you know, it is what it is. That's how it works. Time Star Magician, rank 4, Exceed monster. Allows you to search for any special or spellcaster monsters from your deck to your hand. You could use this to search out things like Astrograph Sorcerer, Black Fang Magician, Poison or Purple Poison Magician. You can use it to summon Skull or Skull Combat Joker. Does it have to be a Magician Pendulem monster? I always just search. Yeah, dark spellcaster type. So yeah, basically any dark spellcasters. Yeah, pretty much. It searches out basically the whole deck, and it also has the effect that if you're going to destroy something, you can just send a spellcaster monster from your deck to the graveyard instead. So if you have Time Star Magician on field and you time Pendulem Graph something, you can just send Time Star Magician. You can activate Time Star Magician's effect to send a monster from the deck to the graveyard, which will then trigger Time Pendulem Graph's effect to pop 2, and instead of popping 2, pop 1, send 1, which is really good. Baguska is the last defense. It's the last bastion. If you really can't make a play or you get max seed and you don't want to go buy into the max seed challenge, you could just make Baguska and pass and just say like, hey, yo, go ahead, do your thing. That's basically what it's here for. It's just a stall card in case that you get trumped by a hand trap. Adai's Absolute Dragon. This is why we have the level 7s. Basically, this card, you make this with 2 level 7s, whether that be both your Supreme King Gate Zeros or your Astrograph Sorcerer and a Supreme King Gate. And what this will do is when you send it to link off for something, or if it gets sent to the graveyard for any reason, literally kaiju, whatever the case, you then get to summon Adai's Vortex Dragon. So by using resources to make it, you can use it as a resource to gain an Omni Negate, which is pretty cool. Electromite doesn't need any type of introduction. This card is broken. Moving on. Needle Fiber. Needle Fiber we use every effect for Needle Fiber in this deck, which is cool. It gets to special summon a level 1 tuner, which then you can use to make Dagda with other resources, which will then search Scythe, which then means you get to set Scythe, which means on your next turn you get to Synchro Summon into TG Wonder Magician, which gets to pop this, which means you win the game. We like winning here by any means necessary. Gang gang. But that's pretty much Needle Fiber. Also another card that doesn't need any explanation. Artifact Dagda. Dagda's just here to get to Scythe. Yeah. Dagda's here to get to Scythe. That's it. Yeah. Selene is pretty cool. Since we run so many spell cards in this variant of the deck, it's really easy to end up with a lot of spell cards. So you can use Selene's. It's possible to use Selene's effect multiple times. Are you going to use Selene's effect multiple times? Probably not. You're just going to use it once and then turn it into an Appaloosa or an access code talker. But, you know, it is what it is. You can use it multiple times. It's there. It can also be used if you need to use 3. You add it on the Borla Savage Dragon, give it triple gate. You know, pretty explanatory. The link lineup, these last 3 cards are pretty much just kind of like staple picks. If you don't have access code, you can use Boral Sword. You don't even have to use Boral Sword. If you really want to, you can use Underworld Goddess of the Underworld. You don't even need it in here if you don't want to. I would suggest putting Appaloosa in the deck or Apollo USA for the more Chad Master Duel players. Apollo USA can help with just setting up another form of negation on your opening board. I would actually say if you were gonna run anything in that, you would make sure you want this, you want this, you want this, you want this, this. You can use this or White Aura Bahamut like we talked about. You want this. This can be substituted with, you can take this out and put in something else if you want to run Form Pile Eyes Dissolver. I like these. I don't know. This is the version of the deck I like. How about that? You can change this if you guys want to. If you guys are in the Discord and you guys want to try to make Pendulem additions, you guys think like, hey, Astro, how does this look? I can help you out. How about that? Yeah. Anyways, you know, that's the deck list. That's the deck list. Hope you guys enjoy the replays. If you guys find this content enjoyable and fun to watch and everything, please go ahead and drop a like and a comment. Maybe even subscribe if you're feeling extra cheeky. And then remember, if you guys want to, you can follow me on Twitter at AstroUnchained. You guys can join the Discord. Link in the description if you guys want to talk about more Yu-Gi-Oh with me and friends. As well as, what was I gonna say? Yeah, Twitch. I stream on Twitch every once in a while. So yes, yeah. I failed at making this shorter, by the way. Sorry about that, guys. It's hard to talk about this. I need to figure out a way. If you guys have any suggestions on how else you guys would like these videos formatted and everything, go ahead and let me know. I'm going to stop talking, though. I'm going to let y'all enjoy the replays. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night or morning, whatever the case may be. I'll catch y'all next time.